Hello, everyone. It's Miss Anne from Herrick District Library coming to you with another preschool story time. Grown-ups, just a reminder, if you would like to receive our story times directly to your email inbox, you can do that by signing up on our website. Go to our calendar and click on any of the storytime links, and a pop-up will pop up where you can put your email address in there. And we send one email a week that includes all of our story times, plus sometimes some extras. So we would love for you to sign up if you have a chance. My friends, let's find out what letter we're talking about today, shall we? Letters, letters, letters have names. What is the name of this letter? So friends, if I pull down straight and push up and curve forward, does anyone know what letter this is? R, 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 R. R is the name of this letter. Now, friends, this is a little r or a lowercase r. To draw a capital R or a big R, we would pull down straight. Start up at the top. We would slide right, then curve forward and slide left. And then we would slant right. And that is a capital R or a big R, uppercase R. Now, friends, letters don't just have names, right? Letters, letters, letters make sounds. What is the sound of this letter? R, 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 R. R is the sound of this letter. Good job. So friends, today we are going to be looking for the R and listening for the R sound. Sort of sounds like we're growling like dogs, doesn't it? So first, friends, I would love to do a song with you. It's a pretty big favorite of Storytime in Holland here at the library here. This is called Ram Sam Sam. You heard that sound, Ram Sam Sam. Now, I would like to do this song 2 times with you. One time, just in case there's anyone who doesn't know it, so they can get to know how the emotions go and how the words go. And then I would love to do it with you super silly fast. So friends, when we sing Ram Sam Sam, we love to practice crossing our midline, which means we're going to cross our arms. We sing the silly words Ram Sam Sam, we tap our laps. When we sing the words a gooly gooly gooly, we roll our hands like this. And when we sing the words a Ravi, we stretch out our arms as wide as we can and give ourselves a big hug. You ready? This time, first time is going to be kind of slow, just regular speed for Ram Sam Sam. Ready to start? Here we go. A ram sam sam, a ram sam sam, a gooly 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 ram sam sam, a ram sam sam, a ram sam sam, a gooly 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 ram sam sam, a Ravi, a gooly 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 ram sam sam, a Ravi, a gooly 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 ram sam sam. Great job, everyone. Okay, friends, you think we can do it super fast? What do you think? I often get mixed up when I do it super fast. So let's roll out our shoulders, roll out our necks a little bit. We don't want any ram sam sam injuries this morning. You cross your arms and get ready to ram sam sam super fast. On your mark, get set, go. A ram sam sam, a ram sam sam, gooly 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 ram sam sam, a ram sam sam, a ram sam sam, gooly 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 ram sam sam, a Ravi, gooly 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 ram sam sam, a Ravi, gooly 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 ram sam sam. Wow, that was super fast. Thank you so much for ram sam samming with me this morning, friends. Now, friends, I would love to do another song with you. And this is a song that I think a lot of us know. It's called Row, Row, Row Your Boat. And yes, you did. You heard that sound. Oh, yes, and yes. I have an R on my shirt today, don't I? This says read, because we love to read at the library. You have such good eyes to notice these things, friends. we are going to sing row, row, row your boat, but we're not going to do it in the usual way. We're going to add some silly fun verses. So we're going to kind of tell a little story and sing row, row, row your boat. Let's start with the regular verse. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. And friends, we can row our boats like this, or we can pretend that we are in like a kayak or a canoe, which means that we have to row on one side and then the other. Whatever you like, because choices are fun, aren't they? Here we go. Let's sing a regular row, row, row your boat verse. I think I'm going to choose to row like this for this verse. You ready? Here we go. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Good job. I knew you would know this one. Now, friends, we're going to start adding some silly, silly verses. So we're going to row our boat down a stream again in this verse, but instead of singing merrily, merrily, we're going to sing, if you see a crocodile, don't forget to scream. You ready? I think I'm going to row this way this time. Here we go. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. If you see a crocodile, don't forget to scream. Ah! Let's try another one. This time we're going to row, row, row our boat gently to the shore, which is where the water meets the land. That's the shore. And if you see a lion there, what do lions say when they talk? Don't forget to roar. Ready? Here we go. Row, row, row your boat gently to the shore. If you see a lion there, don't forget to roar. Roar! Good job, everyone. Let's try another one. This time we're going to row our boat gently down the Nile. The Nile is a really long river that it's actually in a bunch of different countries, but probably most famously in a country called Egypt. And in Egypt and hot places like that, sometimes they have camels. So we're going to say we're rowing down the Nile, and if we see a camel, don't forget to smile because camels are cute, right? You ready? Here we go. Row, row, row your boat gently down the Nile. If you see a camel there, don't forget to smile. Hi, camel. All right, let's try another one. Let's row our boat down a creek this time. A creek is kind of like a river, but it's usually pretty small and not very deep. So we're going to pretend we're rolling down a creek. And if we see a tiny mouse, don't forget to, how do mice talk? Ready? Here we go. Row, row, row your boat gently down the creek. If you see a tiny mouse, don't forget to squeak. Squeak, 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 squeak. I love tiny mouse. Squeak, squeak. I've got one more, friends. We're going to row our boat down a river. And if you see a polar bear, now, friends, do polar bears live where it's warm or where it's cold, usually? Mm-hmm. Polar bears live where it's cold, usually. So we're going to row our boat down a river. If we see a polar bear, don't forget to shiver like you're cold. Ready? Here we go. Row, row, row your boat gently down the river. If you see a polar bear, don't forget to shiver. It would be very cold if we were rowing our boat where polar bears live, wouldn't it? Friends, thank you so much for singing silly, silly verses to row, row, row your boat with me. We often do things in not the usual way in story time, don't we? Because it's so much fun to play with them. Now, I have with me my what is it bag. And in my bag, I have something that starts with today's letter, which is R. Is the sound, right? So let's see. We're going to sing our song and then I will give you a few hints and see if you might be able to guess what it is in my bag. You ready? Here we go. What is it? What is it? What is it? Do you know? What is it? What is it? Can you tell me so? So friends, in my bag, I have something, it's very straight and it can be made out of lots of different things. I've seen them made out of wood and out of metal and out of plastic. And we usually use it to help us draw straight lines or sometimes to measure things. Does anyone have a guess? It's a ruler. I have a ruler with me today. This one is made out of wood and it has lots of numbers on it. Friends, what can you tell me about rulers? Yes, numbers. Let's see what numbers we have here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this ruler has 12. These are called inches. Inches are about this big right here. Here. 12 inches on it, which we also call a foot, which I know sounds silly because this is also a foot, right? And then down on the bottom, there are some smaller measurements called centimeters, and there are more of them in a foot than there are inches because they're smaller. So this is what a centimeter looks like. It's much smaller than a full inch. What can you tell me about rulers? Anything else? Yes, you can use them to draw straight lines, especially if we need to draw really straight lines. What else? You measure things with them. Yes, we do. Let's see what I can measure. I have my marker. Let's see how big our marker is. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just about 5 inches long. Look at that. It comes right up almost to the 5. So it's not quite 5 inches, but it's close. What else can we measure? Let's measure our letterboard. Now this, friends, has 2 different ways we can measure. We can measure the long way or we can measure the short way. Let's do both. Let's see how long it is here. Oh, goodness. It's almost the whole ruler, isn't it? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, almost to 12. It's not quite 12 inches. And let's see how wide it is. Let's measure it this way, the shorter side. Okay, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, almost to 9, but not quite. Almost to 9. What do you think you could measure at home with a ruler? Could measure how big your toys are. You sure could. Or how about how big a book is? Some books we can measure. This one is a little more than 10 inches long, wide. Let's see about this. Oh, it's about the same. So this book is sort of, because the sides are all equal, this book is what shape? A square, right? And yes, you sure did. There's our letter for today. Rabbit's Gift is the name of this book. It's a fun book. Friends, thank you so much for talking about rulers with me today. I hope you have a chance to try playing with some rulers and using them to draw straight lines. You can use them if you want to tear paper. If you want to tear paper very straight, you can put the ruler down on the paper and tear along the ruler. And of course, to measure. I would love to hear about all the different things you try to measure with rulers. Thank you so much, friends. And if you can believe it, story time's done for today. We need to say goodbye. We're going to do bread and butter, marmalade and jam. And I would love to do some of the different animals that we had in our row, row, row your boat song. So let's get ready to do bread and butter, marmalade and jam. And we like to tap our laps and clap while we do bread and butter. And if you want to, you can cross your arms and clap. Here we go. We're going to say bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye like, and I'll tell you what animal we're going to say goodbye like. You ready? Here we go. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye like mice if we can. How would a mice say goodbye? How would a mouse say goodbye? Let's see. Let's try another one. Here we go. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye like lions if we can. How would a lion say goodbye? Roar, roar. Let's try another one. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye like crocodiles if we can. Does anyone know what sound a crocodile makes? I'm not sure either, but you know what I do know that they do? They have big mouths and big jaws, so we can say goodbye. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to Storytime today. We'll see you next time.